Pakistan is claiming that the Indus River belongs to Pakistan because the Indus Valley civilization is in Pakistan and the rights to the Indus River must therefore come to Pakistan. Hence, they've renamed all of those areas to the original names from what they were, and they're trying to claim the Indus Valley civilization as a part of Pakistani heritage.
We are the country with maximum living traditions. And when the Britishers came in, they really they didn't write nice things about Indian art. They felt that Indians are culturally poor. They don't have art like refined or classical art like the Europeans. And they thought we are responsible to teach them art culture. Marcel Duchamp, he gives the title Fountain.
Oh.
And this is exhibited.
Yeah, so this is the art piece.
This is the art piece, okay?
It's a urinal.
Yeah. And he gives the title Fountain.
Pablo Picasso said, art, the purpose of art is expression. If you have nothing to express, don't draw.
Oh, he's got no other options. He's doing art. He's going to become a poet. He's going to draw something. He really struggled to make ends meet. And yet, I find it ironic that you've gone places by taking art.
This is still a trailer. Welcome to another episode of the Pineapple Podcast. Close your eyes and take a breath. Open your eyes, look around. There's art everywhere. But in our minds, art, Picasso, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, not Raja Ravi Verma, not S.N. Hadnalkar, not Raza. Some of us, most of us, have probably heard of M.F. Hussain. Art is on a canvas, on a wall. It's not on the floor, the everyday rangolis. It's not sculptures. It's not artistry of the highest order. And today, to explain it, including the origin of art in India, Dr. Nayana Tadvalkar, a museologist, a lady who curates what goes inside museums, a lady who's done her PhD on a most forgotten art, the ephemeral floor paintings, which we call rangolis. A lady who knows much more about art history than anyone else I've ever encountered. And today, we get to learn a little bit. Welcome to another episode of the Pineapple Podcast. Today is a very special episode. We get to meet one of my favorite people on the planet, Dr. Nayana Tadvalkar. Why is she one of my favorite people on the planet? Because when I was growing up, one subject was completely missed from my childhood. Completely. Even if you ask me today, who are the famous art people we know Da Vinci, we know Van Gogh, we know the Starry Nights, we'll recognize it whenever we see it. I have never studied about Indian art, ever. And today we have a museologist who told me this herself, by the way, backstage, that if you Google museologist, you guys can try it now. When she did it, the first hit was musicologist. What she does wasn't even there on the horizon when she started. We spoke to you a little bit, ma'am, and you said that the biggest reason for this was colonialism.
Yes.
So maybe let's start with that.
Yes.
The Indian history and the colonial impact on Indian history.
History of art.
History of art.
Yes. So in India, we have prehistoric art. Okay. So the Stone Age man has created art in India. We have Indus civilization, Harappan civilization, which I'm sure all of us have studied in school. But these things were completely lost to us. And when the Britishers came in, they really, they didn't write nice things about Indian art. They felt that Indians are culturally poor. They don't have art like refined or classical art like the Europeans. And they thought we are responsible to teach them art culture. And that's the reason they opened up 4 art schools in India in 1850s at Lahore, Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay schools. That's RJJ School of Art. To train the Indians in Western classical style of art. That's what we call the academic style of art. Yeah. So that's one of the major reasons why we are really not aware of our own art.
This makes me so angry because I would have thought after independence, one of the easiest ways to connect with your culture, to connect with your roots, to be an independent India would be to connect people to their heritage through arts, through sculptures, through everything that we've seen when I'm hearing your talks. Isn't that the easiest way to connect someone to your culture?
It is, but I mean, it is happening, but not up to the scale as it's required to happen, you know. In schools, we are not taught about art. Actually, we should have a subject called history of art in school. So, history of art, only the people who opt for creative fields, they study history of art. But what about commoners?
So, Mario, you've never done history of art.
So, here is a big problem I have with this. And, when I was growing up, just like you, art was marginalized. That's the word I use, right? When you have career choices to make, it's science, number one, A1, it's commerce. And if you said, I want to do art, it comes across that you're not really serious about anything, are you? It seemed at the time when I was growing up, oh, he's got no other options. He's doing art. He's going to become a poet. He's going to draw something. He really struggled to make ends meet. And yet, I find it ironic that you've gone places by taking art. And, it's, I don't know, is it some kind of conditioning back then that we were not told this is a good field to get into? And like you said, because of the influence of the West, right? What we've been told is that art comes from the West, right? And do we even have any linkage to our own historical art? Are the links there, or have they just been forgotten? Or is there content? Or this is all we don't even know this.
So I'll tell you my story. I mean, the path wasn't easy for me too. So in India, what typically happens is if you're like reasonably okay in studies, your parents would want you to go opt for science or commerce.
This is you being modest, no? You were not reasonably okay in studies.
So the same thing happened with me, actually. My grandfather was a doctor, skin specialist. So my mother was like, you have to become a doctor. And that was kind of imbibed into my mind. And so after 10th, I took science and I didn't enjoy it at all. And my older sister was very lucky that she could go for applied art. And I would see her doing her assignments in the house, in the evenings. And I was like, I want to do something like this. And so somehow I managed to just finish my 12th because my parents insisted. And after 12th, I just sat them down. I told them, I'm not interested in this field. I want to do something like her. So I'm going to opt for foundation. There's a 1-year course called Foundation in Drawing and Painting. So I want to try that and then see what I like.
How did that conversation, how did you even decide to have that conversation?
Because as I said, I was really influenced by what my sister was doing. And I thought, like, if she can do it, why cannot I? I mean, why are they imposing this, that you have to become a doctor and these kind of things on me? So, yeah, I mean, my parents obviously initially were a bit reluctant. Because another reason being they thought, okay, one daughter is doing art, okay, the other one should at least become a doctor. So then, but I had to kind of like fight, and then I took admission for foundation in art, and since then there's been no looking back. So
on another angle, your title says museologist. So is there something to do with museums, being a curator, or am I completely off?
Oh yeah, it's museology in broader terms. You can say it's museum studies. So there are many aspects to museology. Curation is one part, but there's also concept development, research, and exhibition design, and yeah, it's a conservation.
Foundation of art, museologist. Connect the two. How did you get there?
Oh yeah, so museology is one of my qualifications. After foundation, I opted for textile designing, and I did my textile designing from VJTI. VJTI, as you all know, it's a very reputed engineering college, but it started with textiles. The college itself started with textiles.
What year is this where you're doing this?
1991.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So, and then I worked in the textile industry. So,
what were you doing?
Designing. Yeah, I specialized in weaving. I was designing for upholstery fabrics for exports.
Wow, did not know that. Okay.
So that's how I began. And then I got married. Then my daughter was born, and I took a sabbatical. And then I thought I want to study further, and I should opt for fine arts. And that's how I joined the course MA in Fine Arts, Masters.
So, what is fine arts?
Fine arts is again what Raja Ravi Verma is doing, the paintings, sculpture, architecture also, but not the technical architecture, the aesthetics of architecture and art history, very importantly. So, though I am trained as a fine artist, I have done portraits, landscapes, creative paintings, which everybody has to undergo as a part of their training. I was naturally, inspired or moved towards art history because that is something I really liked. And then I thought, okay, I should do PhD in art history.
Why, what, do you remember any particular artist who completely inspired you in saying, no, this I have to do art history. This is way too interesting. What is the first few pieces?
Overall, the story of art fascinated me. It's not one particular artist, but like from prehistory, how civilizations are born and then coming to contemporary times. It's a very long journey, and I was absolutely inspired to know more about it. Yeah, so then I thought I should do PhD in art history. Now, PhD, as you all know, you have to narrow down to one topic, ideally which is unexplored, which nobody has explored before you. And that was a challenge. Like, what topic do you, work on or do research on? And I was lucky, when I was in VJTI doing my textiles, we had one value addition subject, I would say, wherein one gentleman who was a retired professor from JJ School of Art, I'll tell you his name, Professor Vishwas Yande, he used to come once in a week with a Jola like Santa Claus, and he used to come with all original folk art, Madhubani paintings and Warli art and so many things, and a lot of books as well. And
so seriously, Santa Claus.
Yeah, and we just used to talk. It was not part of like formal academic training, like there was no test or anything with respect to that, but it was just discussion. And he showed us all various art forms. And so I remember there was this discussion. He said, nobody has done research on Rangoli art. And at that point of time, I was thinking of textiles. This was just some additional thing. I wasn't thinking of master's or PhD, but somewhere it stayed with me. Yeah. And when maybe after 10 years, when there was a point where I'm thinking of, okay, what topic to choose for research, that's when, it just clicked. Oh, Yande sir had mentioned this. Then I went to him again. I said, sir, once you had talked about this, so what are your thoughts on this? And do you have any material? So he said, I have some Rangoli booklets which I have collected during my travel in South India, southern parts of India. I can share those with you, but besides that, I don't have much information. But he was like, yeah, somebody should do research on this, write about it. I said, okay. So then I thought, and then I started doing my research. And I was very lucky, my father-in-law, he was a doctorate in Marathi literature. He's no more, he just passed away last year. But so he had done his PhD, and I had seen him write his thesis. So I consulted him. I said, this is the topic I want to work on. How do I go about? So he was like, first, your synopsis should be very clear. I mean, work on your synopsis for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it takes.
What is a synopsis?
Synopsis is basically what do you want to work on? What is it that you want to prove? The hypothesis.
How big is it? One page?
No,
one
synopsis could be 5 pages, 6 pages, depends on your topic. So he was like, be thorough with your synopsis. You should know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. Only after that you look for the guide. So if your guide asks you some questions, you would be knowing it. So that's what I did. It took me 2 years to prepare my synopsis. It's just 6 pages, but what exactly is to be done and who has worked on this topic before? Unfortunately, nobody had, or fortunately, I would say that I got a chance to do it, but it was tough. I would say, I should admit it was tough because there was nothing to look back. I mean, there was no material to read. So whatever, I mean, wherever I went, the people I talked to, I realized that we only get booklets of Rangoli designs, but where's the matter? And then, but still I managed to, I mean, write the synopsis, whatever I felt, what work needs to be done and all that. And yeah.
So let me introduce you to my co-host. Whenever he has a question, he will make sure every few minutes he'll keep twitching his hand like this. Wait, I have to ask a question. I have to ask a question. Go for it.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what was I going to ask?
So, the interesting thing about what you said, but the time your professor mentioned that there's no research in Rangoli until you did it, 10 years had passed.
Almost,
and
yeah.
nobody touched that subject, right? So that makes me think that there's some of the colonial, narratives in people's mind. Oh, we'll go after something, a PhD, which is Western, it's good, but Indian, why even bother? Although there's richness here, I'm just wondering whether there was something playing in the background.
So people have done PhD on Indian topics, but I mean, I can't sound modest here, but
Please don't.
they choose the topic where the data is easily available.
Fair.
Just
Yeah.
go to the library, read the books, sometimes go here and there, but now I'll tell you how my journey was. And we also have a YouTube video, so which you can see. So, yeah, so continuing from my synopsis is ready. I start approaching guides, guides who are in the university. Now, then I realized there's no guide for art history in Mumbai. So then I talk to people, they say you have to go to Baroda, Sayaji Maharaj MS University, Baroda, or maybe Rajasthan to do PhD in art history. And believe me, there's no PhD in art history in Mumbai University till date. So where do I look for a guide now? Then I was really frustrated. So I went to Pune. There was one guide at SNDT University, and I gave her my synopsis. I said, ma'am, I want to work on this. What are your thoughts on this? So she said, okay, I'll go through it. It was just 5-6 pages, but she kept it. And after 2 months or so, she tells me, नहीं ना इतना मजा नहीं है टॉपिक में why don't you do one thing, I have done research on this topic, you can continue doing, taking it forward. I was like, ma'am, please, I don't want to do PhD for degree. I'm doing my PhD for this topic. This is what I want to work
such
on.
an important sentence. Right?
So I took my synopsis back and I was really, I would say, sad and depressed at that point of time. I thought whether I should really go ahead with this. And at home, I'm very lucky that I have very supportive family. So my husband tells me, you continue with your research na, PhD ka kya hai? Kuch nahi to at least you'll publish a book. Continue with your research. Don't think of all these things. And then my father-in-law, so as I said, he's a doctorate in Marathi literature. So he had a huge library of Marathi books in the house. And he takes out one book. There's a very famous Marathi poet, Keshav Sut, he's called. So he's written a book called Rangoli Ghaltana Pahun.
Wow, okay.
Written a poetry, called Rangoli Ghaltana Pahun. And my father-in-law tells me, read this.
Rangoli Ghaltana.
You see somebody making Rangoli, Ghaltana Pahun. Okay. And so the poetry is two sisters are making Rangoli or putting Rangoli, and the poet is inspired to write a poetry seeing their Rangoli or seeing the whole process. Nice. And it's written a beautiful poem.
Okay.
So I read that poetry and there were tears in my eyes. The climax of the poetry was, I'll tell in English, that nobody is going to understand this art. It is, when you create a Rangoli, you are creating heaven on earth.
Do you remember the Marathi ending?
Yeah.
Or if we can put it up, just put
yeah,
that
you
poem.
can. It's there online.
Just what's the name of the poem?
Rangoli Ghaltana Pahun by Kavi Keshav Sut.
Just write Rangoli poem by...
I remember the last lines actually. If you want, I can narrate the...
Rangoli poem by Kavi Keshav.
Keshav Sut.
Keshav Sut. Suth.
Oh, there's videos.
Just go to images. We might see an image of the poem. I think this one is probably it.
Yeah, probably.
So just scroll down. Second row, there is an entire image of people writing. A little more, just one level down. Where you were, one level down. Yeah, just enlarge that. I think that's the poem.
No, not this one.
Okay.
I can actually narrate the lines. I
Okay.
just comes,
Okay.
I'll try to. साध्याही विषयात आशय मोठा किती आढळे, नित्याच्या अवलोकाने जनपळी होती पहा आंधळे, रांगोळी पाहुनी इत्वर तरी होणे तई शहाणे, कोठे स्वर्ग समक्षता प्रकटते हे नेहमी पाहणे. So this is what really inspired me to continue with what I was doing.
So this was a turning point then.
This was a turning point,
Okay.
absolutely. And then, it so happened that somebody told me that there's this new HOD who's joined SNDT University in the history department, regular history, not art history, okay? So why don't you go and meet her? She's done some work on cultural studies,
Okay.
Lavnis and the art during the
Okay.
Peshwa period. So I went there, I spoke to her. So she was Dr. Varsha Shirgaonkar. And I said, ma'am, I'm interested in doing a PhD in this topic. So I gave her my synopsis. She was like, okay, just give me a couple of days, I'll get back to you. And after 2 days, she tells me, yeah, I really liked your topic. I would really like to guide you. Only technical issue is, this is you're from fine arts department and not history, all these technicalities
Yeah.
are there. So now you'll have to be a student of history department. I said, kuch bhi chalega. I just want to work on this topic. And then, so technically my PhD is from history department because we do not have guides for art history.
Even today?
Even today. In
Fantastic.
Mumbai, okay, you have to go to some other places. So yeah, I changed my department. I became a student of history. She liked my synopsis. She said, okay, chalo, काम
Did you
शुरू
have to do a
करो.
bachelor's in history or something? Or just
No,
a
no,
normal-
no, no,
Acha.
no. Just change the department. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, because this is history of art. So the history element is there. And accordingly, she guided me how to, because I am only thinking from creative point of view.
Yeah.
I am not thinking about the research framework and all the technicalities. That's where the guide plays a major role. So she told me how you have to frame your topic under, the what we say, historiography. And yeah, that's how we began.
But do you need to take any history subjects to kind of
I needed
balance
to do
the-
some crash courses,
Okay.
some certificate courses like in research methodology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did those courses from St. Xavier's. Yeah, that was a requirement.
Okay, I've got
But,
another question.
yeah.
When you spoke up, when you said that poem, right? One of the last,
we got the poem up.
Yeah, the last paragraph
the
which I just
last
said.
lines which hit me out,
Yeah.
which actually hit me is when you said, "Nobody will ever understand this art." Right? Was that what
Yeah, so
nobody
he's
will ever?
saying that what the poet is trying to say, it is so mundane and you see it every day that you just ignore it.
Kind of, right?
Sadhya hi vishayat. It is a sada vishay.
Yeah.
Everyday art, right?
Yeah.
But there's such depth in this. See, sadhya hi vishayat, ashay kadi motha kiti adhale. It's a big thing. I mean, though
It's so simple that you miss it. Right?
Yeah,
so simple
yeah,
that
it's so
you miss it.
simple that you just miss it.
Yeah. So my question is, and this is something I've struggled with. You have to perceive what the drawing or painting or the art is about. And then there's the understanding which comes from your perception. And, coming from a science background, Krishna, how does this thing work? Because it's...
May I add to your question?
Yeah.
For people like us who have never studied arts, there are some things we see which we appreciate. We're like, wow, this looks very nice. but there are some things which we should appreciate, which just misses completely. So is there a way you can develop an eye to notice that there's something different about what you're seeing?
Yes, so basically read about it. That is
Fair.
very important. And train your eyes to identify. That is so important. You have to be seeing exhibitions, you have to be, admiring or observing folk art. Once your eyes get trained, it's a matter of practice. Eventually, you'll get there. It,
So, the reason I asked you is, why is it that no one got interest? Let's say colonialism came in and no one pursued it. But why is it that such a big most of my friends, most of my circle, my batchmates in MBA engineering, none of us, I'm pretty sure I'll ask them on our WhatsApp group later. I'm sure none of them know Raja Ravi Verma, none of them know Hadnalkar. They know MF Hussain. They don't know any of these
so I'll tell you
artists.
one thing. Art prospers in very flourishing society. Unfortunately, I would say we are still developing
Which one would you
country.
think comes first? Does art cause the society to flourish, or the society is flourishing, hence art flourishes?
See, art continues, okay?
Huh?
Now again, there are different types of arts.
Hmm.
So, like folk art, everyday art, that continues irrespective of kuch bhi ho raha hai society mein, yeah?
Okay.
But then there is something called as courtly art or art patronized by royalty or
Yep.
temple art.
Yep.
These kind of arts do require prosperity. Once the patronization stops, we know the art declines. Like what has happened with miniature paintings,
Hmm.
right? But Rangoli, irrespective of what is happening in
Has
the world, it
always
has
been there.
continued. Varli art, it has continued, So it depends on what kind of art we are talking about. But in general, the society has to be prosperous. Like, आपके पास खाने पीने को नहीं है. You're concerned about what your next
Yeah.
meal. Are you going to think about art?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who do. I'm not saying, like, pandemic artists started creating art based on the pandemic. So these kind of things also influence art. But at the end, it is food, clothing, shelter. That's
Right.
the priority. So in a country like India, it will take time for, people to be aware about art. It's going to take time. As I said, in my case also, my parents didn't want me to join art right away. Later on, they supported. They knew, like, okay, she's determined, she wants to do this. Then all that support, and eventually now they were very proud of me that I, went up to this level of doing PhD and things like that. But initial response is always no, it has to be science, commerce.
How does someone make money in art if they want to? If they want to make it a career,
Yeah.
what is the way someone can earn a living by pursuing arts?
So there are various options. One could be teaching.
Okay.
Then museology, because in museum there's a lot of scope actually, and in India also every day new museums are coming up now. Slowly we are getting there.
Is the number of people going to museums increasing?
It is increasing now.
I'm so
It
happy
is,
to hear.
yes.
Okay.
I'm going to interject. Now that you mentioned museums, there was a museum I went to. I visited Malaga, Spain. Now, Malaga has a museum of Pablo Picasso. It's one of the unique museums there. I didn't even know. I went and they said, you have to see a Picasso museum. I said, okay, let me walk in. And you had all these paintings of Picasso. I had no clue. I'm like, okay, one picture here, one picture, God knows. And then below every picture, there was like a writing, right? The whole story. But then I started reading. There was this picture about Picasso and a pony and a guy sitting on it. I'm like, okay,
See if you can find it.
good drawing. What's the point? And there was whole explanation. These are the emotions. And they gave the context to the time that they were living in and the emotions behind it. I was reading it I found it quite interesting because I don't even think about that. And then I think he made a very important
Picasso and a pony.
a very important statement. He says, I think Pablo Picasso said, the purpose of art is expression. If you have nothing to express, don't draw. And I found that quite a hit on, because when I was in school and college, you get points for drawing. You draw random stuff. Let's draw a tree and a house, and that's art. And nobody thinks about what they express. But in a museum, when you put art, and when Picasso said that there was a completely different angle. I didn't know that people drew to express. That was very new to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so expression is a very important part of creativity. That's why the artists paint.
Expression is,
Yeah.
but randomly you had to throw. Na?
Yeah, I
was
had
in
to throw.
Spain
Yeah, no,
and I
but
went to a museum. We are talking about Indian art.
Of course.
Have you been to an Indian museum?
Yes.
Which one?
The one in New Delhi. I'm not going to answer any more questions.
National
I think
Gallery you went to.
I think we moved on to where I've been in New. I think we moved on to which
So
museum.
I will share how hopeless I am.
Yeah.
So Nayana curates a walk for khaki called Handmade in India, where we go inside the Swadesh store. So if you guys are interested, do please check that out. But as a part of doing that, I got exposed to the history of art from prehistoric times, like she's saying, textiles to the jewelry to everything. That is when I got inspired to finally go into CSMBS for the first time. The Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya in Fort. Fantastic museum in its own right. And now I'm developing that interest to go and see Bhavdaji Lad, go and see paintings in the Jahangir Art Gallery. It's just not an innate part of our upbringing that we go and appreciate art. And I feel like Nana's right in one thing, that art should be taught in schools. But as soon as she said that, I feel like, most of us would just laugh if a teacher comes and starts showing paintings when we were kids. We were, how boys are.
Yeah.
But we'll attack this in a moment. Huh?
Okay, so I don't know if this used to happen earlier. Nowadays, in all the art schools, the final year students, what used to happen earlier was students would come up with their own art pieces, their own photographs.
For whom?
For the
which?
final project. For
Okay.
the
Final
final students, for the
project.
final project, and they would just showcase it in their college. Okay. Nowadays, what's happening is colleges are hiring art galleries for a period of 1 week. And just because college tells you that we are paying Jahangir Art Gallery or Tao Art Gallery. Here
The
is
students will display in the art gallery.
Yes, and what happens is normal people like you, everyone else will also come in. And what colleges have now figured out, ki generally art galleries, they'll time it like this, that if there are some corporate shows or corporate exhibitions going on, the moment you're done with the corporate exhibition, you'll go to the nearby museum or art gallery to have a look at that. You get to stand in front of your art pieces, sell your art pieces to the guests who are coming in, and that gives you a very different feeling. And then that, in a way, they're starting to build that culture of just making us go to different art galleries, see different art pieces. It could be sculptures, paintings, photos, and like the 70s art exhibition that happened last year, Enactment. So
I still wouldn't go to this. That's my problem. I feel like I'm now starting to appreciate it. And especially when I see photos of Raja, that the most famous painting I have seen is woman holding the globe, done by S.L. Hudner. That is my favorite painting. I love that painting. And for a long time, I thought that was done by
Ravi Verma. It's usually attributed to, wrongly attributed to Ravi Verma.
Have you seen that painting?
No, I've
it's
not
one of the
seen
most
that.
beautiful. Pratik, if you
called
can put it
Glow
on,
of Hope.
woman, the glow of a woman.
But interestingly, what you said, even if I was close to art gallery, I'll walk in. But two things, right? I don't know whether it's a kind of a status symbol. If I'm buying a piece of art to put it at home, the person should be. You should know who that person is, right? I won't buy any person's art and put it on the wall unless I really like it. And the other thing which you said about art, and I think you mentioned it earlier, how do we train our eye to appreciate
That's practice.
art?
She's right.
But are there also some aesthetic aspects of how I appreciate light and color falling? Because if you look at my dressing sense and his, we differ by 180 degrees, and what he considers good, I don't. Does this angle also play onto art?
Yeah, it is
what
very
I
subjective.
like, he may not.
Yeah, of course, it is so subjective. I mean, there couldn't be like a rule for everything. But aesthetic sense, again, you have to develop through observation. That is very important. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. Like everybody can't go to art schools and do the theory of aesthetics and all that. So It's purely through observations.
Let's
and-
practice with an everyday art. So everyone does a rangoli.
Yeah.
So my family did it. My mom used to make with rice paste
Yes.
rangoli outside. The simple Tamilian
Yeah.
rangoli.
Kolam.
Kolam. Always. So what are the different types of rangolis in India?
Oh, there are so many. Like every state has its own type of rangoli. Rangoli is a synonym for any kind of floor art. So initially I was talking, I thought of giving the title with the word Rangoli in it for my doctoral research. But then I thought, no, Rangoli is a very broad term. I should say ephemeral floor art, because Rangoli is just, in Maharashtra we call it Rangoli or Rangoli in Hindi. But every state has its own style of Rangoli. Every state has its own names for types of Rangoli, like Kolam from Tamil Nadu or Alpana from Bengal, or Rangavali they say in Karnataka because it's a Sanskrit word. So Rangoli is actually it comes from the Sanskrit word Rangavali. Rangavali is rows of colors, Rangavali, which eventually
Did not know
becomes
that.
Rangoli.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I found some 22, 23 names for Rangoli.
And each, is it family led or is it community led? A rangoli.
Traditionally community led, like women used to come together. In fact, they also used to chant songs and, do it together. But nowadays, they do so for festivals like Sankranti and all, Pongal, when they do that, or even Onam, they come together and make rangolis. But every day, everybody is busy. Like if women do it, they do it on their own.
The only exposure I have to rangoli is the rangoli competitions our HR used to do in our office. Sadly, that's the extent of it. And most of the ladies would show up with stencils. And stencils ke saath
Yeah,
rangoli
because
banate
that's again a skill. If you don't do it every day, you can't make rangoli so easily. Yeah.
So what is the most? So now you've started PhD. You're now researching. You're going in
Yes.
deep into rangoli research.
Yeah.
What's the first step?
So, I didn't realize that it would be so challenging. Eventually I realized that there are only booklets of designs, as I mentioned. The first set given to me by Professor Yande. And then I thought, these are all designs, okay, but what should be the matter? I mean, how do I decide what exactly I want to write? Then again, discussion with my guide always helped. Then we thought we'll go state-wise, classify the art, talk about symbolism. Symbolism is a very important part of Rangoli. These are not just decorative patterns. It has deep meaning. Every Rangoli pattern has a deep meaning behind it.
Example of a
So-
symbol?
Oh, there are many. Yeah.
Pratik.
Abbe, इनसे बुलवाओ. Pratik is a symbol. What-
Yeah, symbol is Pratik. Pratik means symbol.
I know what you are a symbol of. I will say that off camera.
So, swastik, for example.
Right.
Swastik is a very...
Does it irritate you that everyone associates swastik with Nazism?
Not everyone. I mean, it depends only when the position changes,
Yeah,
they
no?
do.
Okay.
But otherwise, swastik is auspicious amongst Parsis, Jains, Hindus, of course, and various other religions. So swastik is a very common symbol. And there are so many. In fact, the basic dot of Rangoli is a very dominant symbol. Dot is the point of origin and point of dissolution. Everything begins there and ends there. So that symbolism itself is so important. And in the kolam, if you know, there are dots and then the lines would circumvent
Yes,
the
yes.
dots. So, in kolam, the belief, or rather in any rangoli, the belief is you prevent evil
From entering the
spirits,
house.
yeah, from entering the house, or if some stranger or anybody who's coming to your house, once they see the beautiful rangoli, all the negativity is left outside,
Wow.
and they enter your house with a very positive mindset.
I never
So that
thought
is
of
very
that.
important
Yeah, that's true.
aspect of rangoli.
Imagine
so there
you're
are
entering a house. There's a
hundreds of
beautiful
things.
rangoli
Yeah,
outside.
that's a psychological thing, right?
Psychological
It looks,
thing. Hey, wow,
it looks
such a
so
nice
good.
rangoli.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks so
yeah,
good.
During the bell, hey, who made this? That's the first thing you
Yeah,
ask. Then you
yeah,
walk in.
yeah.
That's true.
And practically, see, in the Indian villages, rangoli would prevent reptiles from entering your house. If you're
How?
making rangoli out of rice flour, a snake or any reptile wouldn't be able to crawl and enter the threshold
Snakes
of the
are
house.
allergic to rice flour or something?
No,
I
not
didn't know.
allergic. They need a smooth surface to crawl.
Oh.
So this rice powder and all that prevents reptiles from entering the house. So you imagine in those days in Indian villages,
Ah.
these were all, methods that
Yeah,
prevented,
methodization.
that protected the house.
So then it should have been around the house, no? Only at the entrance usually I see
Entrance
them.
is the main,
The main thing.
spot, from where.
So I
Never
have
knew
a
that.
question about your doctorate, and maybe you can clarify. People take 5 or 6 years. I think for you, you may have taken longer.
6.
Six.
No, synopsis 2 years. Actual research, once I, registered for my PhD, it was around 6 years. Yes.
So interesting thing I would like to know, your guide, right?
Yeah.
Now, normally a guide knows the subject, but in your case, it seemed to me like the guide was discovering the subject along with you.
Absolutely.
So generally, in a PhD, maybe you can clarify this for me.
Yeah.
Is your guide supposed to be an expert already and guides you, or is it like a journey you both gone? Because
We both went through this journey. See, expert in guiding is different from being an subject expert. So guiding is like, how do you write a thesis? What is the research framework? That is where the guiding part comes.
Okay.
But of course, yeah, I mean, I'm also lucky to have Dr. Shirgaonkar as my guide. Because she eventually tells me, Naina, when you gave me the synopsis, I wasn't sure about the topic. And she went and met Dr. Gorakshakar, retired director of CSMBS.
Acha, okay.
And tells him that there's one student who's come with this synopsis. What do you think? Should I accept it? And he was very happy. He said, yeah, I mean, nobody has done research on this topic. You should. And that gave her confidence. And I'm so glad. I mean, she told this to me later
When
that this
did she
is
tell
what
you this?
happened.
After you're done?
I mean,
Mid.
somewhere in between. But yeah. So she was also very cooperative. Like, many times students have issues with their guides, and I never had that kind of.
And the sad thing, and one of the problems with doctors, and I know quite a few, 1 or 2 people in Hyderabad, you do so much and then you drop out right at the end. You give up,
that
and
also happens, yeah.
I know this friend in Hyderabad. He dropped off biomed, and he dropped off right at the end. I'm like, you wasted like 4 years now, and he's like, my guide. I'm like, really? You did 4 years and now you're blaming your guide. But apparently it could get tough, and because we've not gone down that path, so we don't really know what.
So I was very lucky, as I said. Yeah, absolutely.
Is this working now? All good?
Yeah.
So let's see a few. Can you guys put up a column? Let's just see the different rangolis that that I remember. We said, let's see a Kolam. Oh, okay, that's fine too.
Yeah.
So this is the column. This is what Nana was saying, that you have this dots in the middle and the pattern around it.
Yeah, that one is a typical column where you have many columns there.
Maybe you should show one which is on the floor, which is drawn on the floor.
Which row, ma'am? First or second?
So my Insta page actually has.
So I'm following Nana on Insta. So just
look at this one. The lady that
the
one she's making.
Open that one.
That's the Sankranti column. She's making Surya Ratha. And here you have the dots with the lines around it. Yeah.
So those dots, right?
Yeah,
where she's going
yeah,
round and
yeah.
round and round. And this is manually. She's not using a stencil here.
No,
for
no,
sure.
it's all done.
And this is rice paste, right?
This is powder.
Powder.
This is powder, but they also use rice paste.
This is so beautiful to see.
Yeah. And so, as I went on researching, many different aspects of Rangoli kept on revealing. Like, some were I was so surprised, like Rangoli and mathematics.
Okay.
Especially Kolam. So I read some interviews of computer scientists, and many of them came from southern part of India, and they said that their first exposure to maths was not in school, but from the Kolam that their mothers and grandmothers made. You know how they make the grid, how many dots to put, and how would the line circumvent. And there are scientists who studied the column diagrams done by women and developed computer languages. Now, again, that's not my subject. I don't know how they must have done it, but you can just Google. There are so many from Japanese university, even from Chennai. There's Dr. Gift Shiromani, who studied column, and his wife, Dr. Rani Shiromani. They have studied column patterns, and created computer languages.
This is what annoys me. I mean, if people just pay attention to our own culture, there are hidden benefits that you get out of it as well.
Different
Who
angles.
would
yeah,
have
yeah, different
connected
angles,
columns
yeah.
with maths?
So even now, right? Even now, as you say, there are folks in this area. Even though they are, this doesn't bubble up. We don't hear of it, right?
I'll
Just
tell you
because
what
we're talking
happens
about you're
if,
telling us.
If this goes viral, for example, right? That Nana is saying that maths has come from columns. This will be spread as some stupid propaganda. Oh, Indians have done columns. Then why hasn't India become a country? And it'll go as if we are just ideally praising our country for no reason.
But we are very good at maths.
Right.
This comes from all this, even Sanskrit language. I mean, as I went on reading, Sanskrit language is a very structured language. You have to be good at maths if you have to be good at Sanskrit. This is something I'd never imagined. Language, I always thought ki right-brained thing hai, the left and right brain. So Sanskrit is a very structured language. And when my daughter studied Sanskrit in school, she told me, you have to have good mathematical knowledge for Sanskrit.
This is
This
new
was
to me.
so surprising.
How no, I'm
I mean,
really
how I
interested.
wouldn't, again, unfortunately, I haven't studied Sanskrit.
Same. I
But
haven't
my
studied
daughter
Sanskrit.
told me this.
We know somebody who's
So-
studying Sanskrit.
Who?
Pankaj.
Pankaj Pradhan studied Sanskrit. Yeah.
We
So
have
shout out
somebody
to
in your
Pankaj.
khaki. Is
Yeah,
also
yeah,
studying
yeah.
Sanskrit. So we'll corner him about that math thing.
I'll give him a maths problem. Say solve. Let's see what happens. But see,
So
again,
everything
Sanskrit
is
yes.
interconnected. That is what is really good, And yeah, so coming back to my research, I hardly found anything written on Rangoli, but people like Ananda Kumaraswamy or Stella Kramrisch, who wrote on Indian art in those days, they have all pointed out that what they call the minor arts. Now in India, we never call major and minor arts. We didn't have that kind of classification.
What do they consider
So
major, minor?
major is which has which are patronized,
Okay.
and minors are what, like folk art, what women do.
Okay.
So they said minor arts needs to be researched. Almost all of them have, somewhere in their book there would be 2-3 sentences saying minor arts have to be researched, but उससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं. I mean, Stella Kramrisch has written about Rangoli, that women in the village make these diagrams, Alpana, Kolam, but then nothing beyond that. Why do they make it? What are the symbols? Who's going to tell us, So
where do they classify Rangoli as? In which of these two categories?
Minor arts.
Minor. But it's
exactly, that's the reason it has not been researched.
But it's
See,
across
I'll
India.
tell
How
you,
can you say it's minor? It's across, right? It's not in a
It is.
village.
I mean, so many scholars also say that this minor and all things are very Western concepts.
I agree.
In India, we say Desi and Margi. Desi is like
Fair.
folk art, and Margi is maybe, as I said, courtly art.
It's not disrespectful.
So it's
Yeah,
not
sure, in mind.
disrespect, it's just a classification.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Western writings, they say high art, low art, major art, minor art. So Rangoli has always been like, unfortunately, art of the housewives. So people have never paid attention to it.
You know what's art of the housewives? Warli paintings. It was usually done by women on the
Exactly,
walls of their
exactly.
homes.
All the folk arts.
The Madhubani,
Madhubani
paintings were
paintings.
discovered in that hut in Bihar after an earthquake.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you guys know this. So the Madhubani paintings, if you guys just Google Madhubani paintings, a lot of them were discovered in Bihar in 1930s. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
1930s
by
when an
Archer.
earthquake happens.
Yeah.
Until then, it was all hidden away. People didn't know they were doing it.
So I have a doubt that you were mentioning about rice being used in South.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is there something specifically used in North? Because rice.
Yeah,
was
so
South,
in the
so
north,
maybe
yes. So, in folk art, the material that is immediately available in your surroundings would be used. So, places where rice grows, rice would be used. And yeah, so in the north, they would use limestone powder, sometimes also wheat flour. Another reason for using flour is it serves as food for lesser beings, insects, birds. So even kolam, By the end
Sparrows
of
would
the
come
day,
and-
sparrows and all would eat the rice flour. That's one.
You know, someone please fact check this, but I recently saw something that the sparrow population in Chennai has come down
It's everywhere.
because the
it's
number of
gone.
people who are using organic rangoli has come down. They are now
Ah.
using artificial ingredients to make
yeah,
rangoli.
yeah.
So the sparrow
That's so
population
sad.
has come down. Please fact check this, guys. This is just an article I randomly read.
No,
But that
anyway,
makes so
please-
much
It's
sense.
very possible.
Anyway, please fact check everything he says.
So but one of the things that I learned from Nana is most of the arts that we do in India, the ingredients are organic.
Oh,
Yeah.
The ingredients are always you use soil. From using soil to using colors of the various objects from every day, just making a paste out of them, that is used to make art.
Yeah.
And I don't think am I right in assuming that that's a very Indian subcontinent thing, using local ingredients?
Not necessarily, but in India we still do it. That is what is important.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
I'm sure in Africa and all also they must have used traditional material.
Aborigines
Also.
Right.
But things have changed in many places. But in India, up to a greater extent, I would say, we are still following the traditions. I always feel that we are the country with maximum living traditions in the world.
IKS.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, I mean,
That's
Indian
one
knowledge
part
system.
of it, Indian
Yeah.
knowledge system, yes. And things have survived 5,000 years, 6,000 years, as we see, our handicrafts. You know?
It's insane.
Yeah.
There is a small spoiler. Please join us for our specially curated walk inside the Swadesh store. It's available every second Sunday of the month. But I'll give you guys a small spoiler. Every day you get dressed. I know you don't use a mirror because this is how you
yeah,
usually
I
look.
clearly don't.
But most of us use a mirror. Would you believe me if I told you that there exist mirrors in India that do not use glass at all? They do
What
not use
substance
glass
do
at all.
they
Just
use?
Google it. Come for a walk, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but come and see for yourself. It's a little bit. I'll tell you. It's polishing a particular metal with over 10,000 strokes to get a shine which reveals your inner nature. We've decided we're going to actually look at Nayana's research. So this is a YouTube video. Full credits to another Pratik, not this one. Another Pratik who decided that he's going to play a very interesting prank on Nayana. Nayana had asked him to join only for taking photos. He took an entire candid video of her research. We're going to look at this. So this is mandana art.
yeah.
It's specific to Rajasthan.
Yes.
Is there a history as to why each community had a different art form? Because I'm guessing people traveled at one stage or the other. Is there influence between mandana and kolam? Any similarities?
Not much.
Not much,
The
no?
similarity is it is floor
It is
art.
floor art.
The belief system is same, but material wise or even motif wise there is variation.
Right.
Stylistic variation
Is
is
that
same.
a surprise to you that even though
Not
there
really, because geographically these are very different, areas. So
materials are different?
materials
so
are
kolam is
different.
rice-based,
Yes, this is limestone.
Limestone being used for.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play the video a little bit, and I think we'll keep going back and forth between talking to you and looking at the video. So this is you in a village in Rajasthan
Yeah.
where you've decided to just walk around and look at the mandana being done
Yes.
by people here.
So this was around Diwali, where ladies would make mandanas, and the source for information for me were the ladies in the villages who made mandana, and that's how 5 years I've just traveled all over India in the villages. Covering all the different rangoli styles.
So this is one village which
This is
specializes
limestone,
in
right? Sorry, Mario. This is limestone, right?
This is limestone, yes,
Okay.
limestone paste.
Sorry, go ahead, Mario.
Yeah.
No, did this village specialize in
No,
mandana?
nothing like that. It's just one of the villages.
So this is
I mean,
average.
I took samples, going to few. I mean, it's not possible to go to every village. So, just collecting samples from different villages. Yeah,
This is freehand, right?
this is freehand.
The lines look pretty. Look at the circles. I mean,
Yeah.
this is how. At what age would ladies have started doing this?
Oh, very young age, 6, 7.
6, 7, 6, 7. Sorry.
Yeah, this is very intricate. Look at how that's drawn. It's not easy to reproduce that.
Yeah.
And again, you're saying this is antiseptic. So they've put it all around their house. I'm
Yes,
guessing
that's
it's-
cow dung, and on top of that, lime paste. And there's a lot of symbolism in this, like you'll see the footprints of the goddess, because Diwali people worship goddess Lakshmi.
Yeah.
So they want her to enter the house, which means prosperity should enter the house,
prosperity.
and that's the reason they make footprints of the goddess.
Just pause here for a moment. So this old lady, this grandmother,
Yeah.
you love this particular.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because she's actually creating a grid. It looks like she's just drawing freehand.
Okay.
And what the other ladies told me is everybody cannot make this kind of rangoli. So they specifically told me, you go to this grandmother, and she is the one what they call the jod ka manna, which means you make a grid. So in this case, it's not a dot. You see, she's making crosses,
crosses.
and then joining it. So there's the design is there in her mind already. It's not freehand, right? So here you need some mathematical calculation. This is one of my
Four
favorites.
crosses have resulted in this.
Yes.
Hold on. Did she make this out of that? Was that the beginning? Is this the same thing?
No, this is not the same.
Okay.
This is another lady doing this. Yes. But you'll see the whole work later. So first she is using red color, and then she'll fill up with the white. Even red and white color has symbolism. White
Why?
is for the male aspects, and red is for females.
I would have always
So
thought it
it's
was
the other way around.
No,
right?
red is blood
Okay.
creation,
Because of the
related to
right.
creation. So yeah,
That's
even
the
that's
footprints of
that's
the
the
goddess?
footprints of the goddess.
Okay.
So what she is creating is a bit modern version. You'll see she's using a normal brush, because she's not doing it on cow dung smeared surface.
Oh, the surface is cow dung smeared.
Yeah, but
Wow, okay.
in
Did
some
not know
cases it is just the flooring.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is just unbelievable. Like literally, if that was paper and I fold it this way, I'm guessing it would be the same pattern,
Yeah.
superimposed on each other. And there's not a paper on the side they're looking at.
No, absolutely
Right?
nothing. It just comes out. I mean, I've seen such complicated diagrams, especially in Tamil Nadu. I've seen columns of the size, I would say around 8 feet, 9 feet spread of column. You can imagine how many dots the lady must have put, and the way the lines
I've seen this
circumvented.
video before. When you
Look
sent
at
it.
this.
This is my favorite moment in the
Yes.
video.
The whole
I mean,
courtyard
this
is filled with
so
manna.
beautiful. This is so beautiful. I love looking at this.
Yeah.
And this is our Indian art.
Yeah.
And we don't know about it. Not enough. How many views on this video? Just go back and see. Like you've uploaded it quite some time ago, right? 3
Yeah,
years
so
ago.
Pratik has uploaded.
No, 64 views. I mean, even though this video has these kind of things, you've got comments and everything going, but people don't seem to want to come and see this. And I think my theory is people don't know the story behind the art enough, and that is I think that is maybe something we are doing now. As I'm saying we, you majorly, but that is something we are doing as a part of Khaki, that telling the story behind the art. Even
Yeah.
when we do the walk at Swadesh, we first say, look,
Absolutely.
they had started here and what they were depicting was different here. Then the tone has shifted. Now they're depicting something else here.
Yeah.
That story, I think, is what makes people connect and look at the art differently.
Sure.
So as part of the history course you did when you were doing your thesis, do you see any attempts to inject some of this into?
Unfortunately, no. But just last year, with the new education policy
Yeah.
coming up, NEP,
NEP.
they have incorporated folk art in history for the first time.
At what grade?
The foundation level. And so last year I taught the foundation class.
For
I
which
don't
class?
know.
Students of 4th standard, 5th standard?
No, not in school.
Not in
college.
College.
See, even college, our art history did not have folk art till last year.
Yeah.
So what I have studied is, I haven't studied Warli painting and all this. That's just self-study. But
You didn't officially study.
yeah, so officially it is being introduced now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked my mom, after the walk itself, I asked my mom, Mom, how did you even hear about a Tanjavur painting? How did you even hear of, she does this thing where she'll take, I don't even know what the material is, but she'll take a hammer and chisel and sculpt a mural out of something.
Embossing.
Embossing.
Yeah.
I mean, where did you even hear that such painting exists because my mom's a BSc science student. She's never done arts as a part of school life. My mom just naturally had the interest, naturally had the eye. She would look at something and say, I like that, I'm going to make that. And I'm like, Mom, if anyone had trained you, what would have been different? Like, I would have definitely sold my Tanjavur paintings and made some money out of it. Because Tanjavur paintings, in case you guys are interested, Google Tanjavur paintings, they actually use gold and sometimes use genuine precious stones.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll have semi-precious stones. So my mom actually makes these at home. You'll see a lot of these. This one, just go back to, I saw one which you
Yeah, more authentic.
the first row, second one. Look at that one.
Yeah.
So that's genuine 22 karat gold, by the way.
And wood.
Not necessarily wood. There is so you use muck to raise the painting a little bit so it will look like a mural. This is 2D. When you look at it, it will look a little 3D. And on top of it, you'll have this gold foil put around. And you see those stones on the arch. This might be semi-precious, but in authentic Tanjavur paintings, you'll actually have real precious stones around this. So this used to adorn the courts of kings and rulers, and now it adorns my house.
So,
My house has it.
your mom clearly has a very good eye for art.
Yeah, my mom, I'll send photos. I'll put up some photos of my mom's paintings as a part of this video.
How is that you have zero?
I have zero. Seriously, I cannot draw. I'm so bad at drawing, even at geometry where you're bisecting. Even that was really bad when I was doing it. So there's not much I can see. Let's go back to Naina's video for a few moments. So let's keep going. I think as it keeps going.
Should I share a secret?
Huh?
Should I share a secret?
100%.
He'll like it. He failed very badly in the
No, but,
Very badly is an understatement.
no, but he's got very good athletic ability, as you can see.
Dog.
So this is I happen to be in
Just
that
pause here,
area.
pause here.
This is Kalibangan. It is a site of Harappan civilization. So I happened to be in that area. So I thought, why not visit the site? And actually got to see a
Hold on. Harappa is in India. Which one is in Pakistan?
Harappa is in
Both are-
currently both are in
Indus Valley
Pakistan.
civilization
Indus
is-
Valley
Did
civilization,
you
but
hear the
some of the sites are in India.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear the new conspiracy theory? So, disclaimer, it's a conspiracy theory, I have no proof. But the conspiracy theory is now because of India, Pakistan having its political issues, the Indus River having political issues, Pakistan is claiming that the Indus River belongs to Pakistan because the Indus Valley civilization is in Pakistan. And the rights to the Indus River must therefore come to Pakistan. Hence, they've renamed all of those areas to the original names from what they were. And they're trying to claim the Indus Valley civilization as a part of Pakistani heritage. I saw this as an article recently. Please Google it. I haven't done enough research on this.
So this is all part of undivided India or Indian subcontinent. And you know what, as I had mentioned earlier, all this was lost to us. So Indus civilization is just 100 years old knowledge for us. 100 years back, we didn't know that we were an ancient civilization. We knew Egypt, China, but we didn't know India was an ancient
Let's make
civilization.
it worse. You know, when it was discovered, they used bricks from the Indus Valley civilization in the Rahul railway tracks.
Yeah,
Not knowing
and
what they
that's
were
how
using.
it was discovered. That's
I mean, it's so horrible. But then, do you want to tell them the cotton story? That might be
oh
interesting.
yeah. So they found a
So, a random question to you guys. Okay, I've kind of revealed it. But do you know that, would you have believed me if I told you that silk was the traditional fabric of India?
No,
Why?
because it belonged. As for what I knew, it belonged to China.
You're right. The traditional fabric of India was cotton.
Yeah.
But how old was cotton?
So we have material evidence of cotton from the Indus civilization.
Did
And
not decay.
It was Kala cotton or something.
Kala cotton is still there.
Yeah.
This is different cotton, but
Or British history.
yeah. So you know, cotton is an organic material. You wouldn't expect cotton to last for 5,000 plus years, and you find it in an excavation. But we were lucky that we found a fragment of cotton stuck in a silver casket, okay, and the salts in the metal helped to preserve that fiber.
Okay.
And when it was found, it was taken to the lab. The lab was in Mumbai at Matunga. It's still there. Sircot, and in 1924 they did the lab testing, and the conclusion was this is Indian cotton, the cotton which still grows in that region and all over India. So I always ask, what is the fiber of India? It is cotton.
This is still a trailer. If you guys are loving what you're hearing so far, I insist, go to khakitours.com. There is a specific walk called Handmade in India. Nayana herself hosts it, so try to go when she is there. If any one of us is there, it's fine. We've also been trained by Nayana. But try to go when she's there, you will hear these stories and much more. So khakitours.com whenever you get a chance. Let's keep going. So this is all now Harappan civilization.
Yeah.
I'm so
We
jealous.
actually found some potsherds,
Really?
hand painted pieces of pottery. You see this? All this is stuck in there.
So it's still not excavated.
It is. But so what they've done is, after taking out the things, they've kept it in the museum, and fortunately they have kept the site open for visitors like us.
Just pause and go back a little bit. What was the Bhumi Alankan?
Oh, that was in the museum.
Oh, that is a museum.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is in the museum.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Bundi Fort.
Just clarify this. If you have a site like this where people can still excavate and find, how is it open to the public then? Won't the public also contribute to where, if you're looking for some artifacts or history, right? I mean, shouldn't that be walled off to the public?
No, so this has already been excavated.
Okay.
So whatever they found is kept in the museum.
Okay.
Many times, they just cover up the site and just let it be. In this case, it is open. I mean,
Okay.
I of course went with the museum person.
Okay.
But I think it's open for public, because now there's nothing that you will pick up and take
pause
it back
for a
with you. It's
Nothing
just
new. Okay,
nothing
so,
new.
okay, fine.
It's all
Yes, okay.
excavated. Yeah.
So this, I guess, is the meat of the video, because now we're explaining what a mandana is. So there's three main parts.
Yeah.
You have the main central motif. You have the
Laddus, that is those circles surrounding the main. And the
Okay.
bharat is just filling up the motifs.
okay.
Bharat
Keep
is
playing.
bharna.
This is all freehand, right? They're not looking at a design and copying it. This is all in their
Absolutely
mind.
no, it's all there in there.
So pause the video 1 minute. So let's say I'm 6-7 years old. I'm probably going to start by copying the designs by my grandmother, right?
Yeah.
Has that continued as you grow older, or have people come up with their own designs?
They do come up with their own designs. Unfortunately, when I was interviewing these ladies, only the very elderly ladies could give me proper information कि ये motif का मतलब क्या है. If I asked a young girl, they would be like, पता नहीं. Sometimes they copy and do it, but without knowing the meaning. But sometimes they'll just create something like a mehndi design, decorative one without any symbols. So in a way, the meanings are getting lost. Though the art is continuing, it is evolving.
Because of your research, are all these motifs now preserved?
I have documented quite a bit, yes.
Is there a book coming out?
I have a book in Marathi.
Okay.
The Marathi publisher has translated my thesis and made a book out of it. And that book won an award for best publication. But I am still looking for a good publisher for my English book. Maybe if somebody is watching this and wants to publish,
We'll include a
I'll
link
be
to
more
your
than
book. Do you know the name of
happy.
the book? Obviously you know. What's the name of the book? I'll just
The
put it up.
Marathi book?
Huh?
You can just say Nayana Tadvalkar Rangoli book. It is called Rangoli Kalatmak Saundaryacha Ved, but it would be too long to type. Yeah,
There
the
it
green
is. Just
one,
click
the
on
first one.
Click on the
Yes,
first one.
yes.
So that's the Amazon link. We'll include this obviously in the hyperlink.
I think it's out of print. That's what, see, currently unavailable. So all the 1500 copies were sold.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So 1500 and first print all sold.
Also,
Awesome. Then why did it go out of print?
probably
They should print
will do the second edition.
Ah.
Yeah,
Or
that's
most
the plan.
of the sales in India, or outside India? Most of them in
No,
India?
in India, it's a Marathi book, so
Marathi
regional
book, of course,
language,
yeah.
right?
Marathi.
So, yeah, in Maharashtra, maybe.
So you've started research, you're with your guide. Now what's the process? So
Yeah, so as you saw, just kept traveling all over India.
who's funding this? Your own money or you have?
I had a couple of fellowships,
Okay.
which were really prestigious, but financially hardly anything to cover up the cost. So mostly self-funded.
Okay.
Mostly self-funded, yeah.
Okay. And now you're traveling, you're documenting. And who is the final person you present to? Your
So in this case, this was one fellowship, the mandana,
Okay.
which came from central government body, ICHR, Indian Council for Historical Research.
Okay.
So then I had to present this project to ICHR. Yeah,
What was the one that finally made you a doctor?
the one which I presented to the university.
University of
Yes, and then there's a viva. You have to
Ah,
defend, and all those formalities happen, and then they
Bombay? This was which year?
clear
you
out.
finally get your PhD?
2012. 2012.
It's been more than 10 years. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And my book got published 10 years back, 2016.
English में we are all waiting to
My
read.
manuscript is ready. Just looking for a publisher.
We'll reach out to Sham and stuff at least, which publisher he used.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the least we can do.
Yeah,
But I would
I-
love to read this.
I don't think you'll choose, everybody goes with Amazon these days. I'm guessing you want a proper Indian publisher who will be able to
I mean,
Yeah.
this is so we've spent like what, an hour and a half, more than an hour and a half now, right? Just looking at artwork, and there is so much history in just the rangolis, just rangolis. Now we've not even covered the other arts. We're only looking at hand painted, hand drawings. We've not even talked about jewelry.
Yeah.
We've not even talked about sculptures.
Textiles.
Right? We've not talked about the Canadian stuff I've told you, but there is so much other art which keeps going.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite artist of all time? I know you don't like answering this question, but who is your favorite?
Painter
Painter? Artist. Let's just say
of
artist.
all time. Very difficult to say this. I like S.H. Raza.
Raza?
Yeah.
Can we put up some
I mean,
paintings
I
of
tend to that's my observation. I tend to like artists who paint something related to Rangoli, the symbolism that I
Right.
understand. The circles, squares, triangles, this is all Tantra, Yantra, and it's related to Rangoli art.
So, fun side note. You guys have heard of the protest site in Delhi? What is it called? Jantar Mantar.
Jantar Mantar.
Where did this term Jantar Mantar originate from? Yantra Mantra. Yantra Mantra has just anglicized to Jantar Mantar. It was always Yantra Mantra, and it started because in Rajasthan, one of the most famous kings of Rajasthan was so technically proficient.
Yeah.
So if you ever visit Jaipur, you can go to the Jantar, now it's Jantar Mantar. Go there, you will find things documenting astronomy, you'll find measuring to the T. You'll find everything measured using the position of the stars. He was so intelligent that he created an entire park dedicated for measuring astronomical movements. I sound so intelligent now, this is creepy. Okay, what are we looking at? Oh, Jantar Mantar, thank you.
Jantar Mantar.
I was like, okay, this looks heart shaped and all. What happened? Go back to Raza. So Raza was one of those artists who was initially trained in the European
In
style,
academic style,
right?
absolutely.
So there was a guy called Walter Langhammer who trains in budding
Yeah,
Indian artists.
he encourages them, but Raza is trained in the JJ School of Art in the European style, and initially does portraits, landscapes and all that. Slightly moves towards abstraction. If you see this landscape of his, which is very abstract, what you see on the right. So that is the kind of work he does. He goes to France, settles there, and in 1980s he comes back to India, starts reading about Yantra Tantra, and is inspired to do these kind of geometric paintings.
So what is special about this geometric painting? So my untrained eye just looks at it like a circle and a few.
So this series is called bindu.
Okay.
Like we already spoke about the bindu in the Rangoli. That's the symbolism here. And we have this 5 elements of nature:
Okay.
earth, water, fire, ether. All these are represented by some geometric shape. So fire would be the triangle,
Okay.
earth would be the square, water would be the circle.
The
So
blue one, second row, fourth one.
Yeah.
I think that's the one we're looking at.
So this is how he is composing his designs, his paintings based on sacred geometry is what I would call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dharti, Agni, Vayu, Jal, and fifth one?
Ether.
Ether बोलते हैं उसको, space.
So again, just walk us through this. What am I looking at here?
So this same symbolism that I mentioned, the triangle, circle, square, representing the 5 elements of nature, but these are combinations of that, and it gets more complicated. For example, I'll just give you one example. If you see, you all know the Star of David.
Yeah.
2 triangles interlock. But what are those triangles? If the triangle is upward pointing, it represents the male aspects of creation or the Purusha.
Right.
Yeah, and if it is downward pointing, it is Prakruti, the female aspects. And what happens with the union of that? Leads to procreation or sustenance of the world. So this symbol used by all the cultures, but it's a fertility symbol.
It's on the Israel flag too.
So this is what Raza is also using. This is sacred geometry.
So, question really tangential to this. Now, I'm looking at something which is really structured, and we're admiring it. Now, tell me, what do people admire about abstract art?
This is abstract art.
This is
geometric abstract, not pure abstract, but see, abstract art is always open for interpretation. Something moves you when you see the art.
I'm sorry to say, not to offend anyone. It looks to me like somebody tried to make a Rangoli painting, and that didn't come out really well. So you just scribble it all, and it's abstract art. Because I've seen paintings, it's like something just splashed. No design, no shape, and people just admire it. So
forget design and shape. If you can just Google Mark Rothko, okay? He's just putting color on the surface. Jackson Pollock is still, there's some accidental things. Rothko. THKO, yeah. And you see his artwork. Now this is color field. In fact, here at least you see 2-3 colors. There are paintings which has single color on the canvas. But if you Google, there's Rothko Chapel at Houston in Texas, okay? I have visited that place. I was very curious to see how do people react to this kind of art, where what you see in front of you is a flat color on canvas, nothing else, no forms, no shapes. And that Rothko Chapel is a space for meditation, okay? So there are his paintings on the wall, and there are benches kept there. And you are supposed to be quiet and just look at it and meditate. And what I have read, when I went, my focus was observing the people, how they are reacting, okay. Somebody was just writing something or just staring at the paintings, and what I have read is some people eventually start crying also. Those kind of emotions come out. So everything has some meaning, it evokes some kind of emotions. And abstract art, you usually see it is untitled. You cannot give titles for something like this, right? So it is open for interpretation. What I see in it or what I feel when I see it depends on my experience, my understanding. You might see something different, right? So
did you personally experience something when you visited the museum?
So that's what I was saying. My intention was not meditating. I was just observing how people react to it. Because I had read enough and I teach Rothko, and also I kind of know.
We don't have abstract art in Indian history, right? More like Warli paintings.
Contemporary art, of course. Contemporary artists, we have many abstract artists.
Historically, we don't
Historically,
have Bhimbetka and Madhubani and all these, they're always a
these
theme.
are folk art, but see the very primitive art, if we have to say, which is very minimal and all, it looks like what we call abstract now.
Which one?
Many of them, like to tell you offhand, like some symbols that you see in prehistoric art, which is very minimal, no detailing is there. So today what abstract artists are doing is taking inspiration from primitive art. You mentioned Picasso. Picasso's inspirations come from African primitive art. He had this collection of masks and things in his studio. So inspired by that, he is creating his paintings.
There you go. See, Picasso has got these weird gargoyle style,
that's
with
Cubism.
the nose up and it's really.
So in Cubism, you actually distort the forms and reassemble.
I'm sorry, that's called cubism?
Cubism.
Okay.
Yeah, cubism.
It's
So
an
you see there's-
African, that's African?
No, his inspiration came from,
Okay.
one of the inspirations was African masks and other artifacts. But yeah, cubism is actually a term used as I would say unfriendly criticism,
Okay.
because the initial paintings look like children's blocks or cubes
Okay.
arranged together.
Okay.
That's why they started calling it cubism.
There was this artist called Hilma F. Clint.
Huh.
It was probably quite years back, if I'm not wrong. So she had mentioned that her art, which she has made, should get released 20 or 30 years later after her death, because
This one?
she thought that that is not meant for that era.
Oh.
And it actually got released 42 years later, and a lot of I think a lot of critics or something did say that it was way ahead of her time art. So that's
It looks
very
Soviet style to me, It looks like brutalist architecture being captured on paint.
it was sealed for 42 years. Actually.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, since you just talked about cubism, maybe you can just look at some dadaism also.
which one?
Dadaism.
Yeah, Dadaism.
Put it?
So
That's one of my
a version,
favorites.
like an evolved version of cubism.
Mona Lisa's come out.
Yeah, Mona
Lisa's
Lisa.
Dadaism.
No, so this is Dadaism.
So Dadaism is
Dali's work also was there.
Yeah,
this is one of my
Dali's
favorite.
work.
Dali's work.
Faceless?
No, Dali's work is surrealism.
Surrealism,
But Dadaism is, as a result of the First World War, this is what artists created. They were like, nothing in this world is making sense right now. Why should art make sense?
Oh.
And that is how they create this. So show the fountain. That's the most famous representation of Dadaism.
Just put Dadaism fountain.
No,
You
this
get it.
one. You see it right
It's
there.
right there, is there. Stop, guys,
It's
stop,
by the
stop.
way.
It's on the right, apparently.
The urinal, yes. And this guy, Marcel Duchamp, he gives the title fountain,
Oh.
and this is exhibited.
Yeah, so this is the art piece.
This is art piece, okay?
It's a urinal.
Yeah.
that's-
And he gives the title fountain.
wo-
That's Marcel Duchamp.
Look at the world of globe of earthly desires.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
diptych. Once you open it,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
becomes
yeah,
a diptych. Like
Yeah.
world of earthly desires.
Hey, you guys really
But that's
studied
not
in your
Dadaism.
So that's not Dadaism.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying-
Bosch.
Yeah,
That's
if
Bosch.
You now zoom in and look at what they've actually
Yeah,
made.
actually it's crazy.
It is very crazy.
So you guys really studied your art
Yeah,
history.
they
Well
know.
done.
I'll tell you. Okay, so what went wrong with us?
Yes, this
is-
one. This one, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
like,
yes.
yes.
That's Bosch.
So if you can open it up and zoom it. So this is after you open it. If you close it, it's a diptych. It's just the earth, and once you open it, it becomes a triptych.
Yeah.
So this is just one small portion of it. Now, if you can probably look at a high-res image and zoom it, you will see like a
This
knife
is
coming out
more
of
like
two
a
ears.
fantasy,
Yeah, all
but very,
fantasy,
very
fantasy,
absurd. Very absurd.
Mario, somebody has had some very good mushrooms and painted. That's what this looks
You
like.
will actually go bonkers.
I
like,
know.
If you just zoom in, no, look at the highest resolution possible. Just keep on zooming in. You'll be like, how can people think of something
Yeah.
like this?
So this is like miniature बना के zoom out करके और miniature बना के वैसे.
Yeah, but
this is
see
really
the theme, see
the detail. Yeah.
the detail. I mean, what are they painting? The thought process.
I think they were on drugs.
It's
That's
But this
the
is
only-
quite old. This is not, I mean, Bosch is what, 15th, 16th century? Yeah, I think so.
That looks like a Smurf village.
I'll put up the like outer diptych and the inner diptych also.
Fine,
Like there are levels like heaven,
Yeah.
earth, and hell.
Yeah.
So
Who are some artists that Indians should be aware of these names? So Raja Ravi Varma is one, we've taken his name a lot.
Indian artists?
Indian artist whose name you should know. You should know, you should look them up.
Ideally all.
Yeah, obviously, I
Yeah.
agree. Ideally all.
Recently, just last week, I gave a talk on Navratnas of Indian
We'll
art.
include a link to that. You guys should check
yeah.
it out.
So these are the 9 gems or Navratnas identified by the Indian government their works are national treasures. They're declared as national treasures, and officially, legally, I would say that the works are not supposed to go out of India. So it is non-exportable.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, just imagine Indian government is identifying 9 artists, and their works are declared as national treasures.
Yeah.
Do you know the names of even one artist, 2 artists? Do you know any name of these 9 artists?
No.
Raja-
This is
I'm
so
quite sure.
unfortunate.
I won't even guess.
Raja Ravi Verma?
Yeah, Raja Ravi Verma is there. Yes.
Hadnalkar?
No.
Hadnalkar is not?
No. So these are the Navratnas. Okay. So there's Rabindranath Tagore. Did you even know Rabindranath Tagore is an artist?
I did not.
We
I
all
did
know
not.
him
He's
as a literary
literary
person,
poet,
right?
yeah.
Nobel laureate. But he was an artist, self-taught artist who started painting in his 60s.
60s.
60s, yes. So yeah, so you have Amrita Shergill, the only female artist there. And then you have 3 Tagores actually, Rabindranath and 2 of his nephews, Abanindranath and Gagendranath Tagore. And then you have Jamini Roy, you have Nandalal Bose, you have Sailoz Mukherjee, and there's one artist who is not of Indian origin. He is a Russian artist who decides to settle in India, live in the Himalayas, painting the mountains. That's Nicholas Roerich, the person
right.
you see
Bottom
on the
right.
bottom right.
Bottom
Yeah,
right,
so these are the Navratnas of Indian art. I mean, in my talk, I did mention that if this would have happened in any European country, I'm sure even a 4-year-old or 5-year-old would have told you who are the 9 gems of identified by their government. But look at us.
When was
This was 1972.
Okay.
It happened in phases. So the first list was brought out in 1976, and 79 was the second
Why
list. So,
9? Random or?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out. And why did they stop at 9? So
Navarasas,
somebody commented Navratna sounds good.
Navratna, Navarasas.
Akbar's court had Navratnas.
I'll tell you the sad part about what we went through. In our education system, we had history of art twice, like in 2 semesters, first semester and third semester. We were not taught a single Indian art movement, or like how did Indian art like evolve, or how did we take inspiration from other. All we were taught were Renaissance, Baroque, Dutch Golden Age, Surrealism, Dadaism, Cubism, going on and on. Okay, so.
So I think one homework we can all do, I think it's a fair ask. You have it on your screen right now. These are the 9 people recognized as the Indian government, as artists you should know as a part of being an Indian. I will admit it, I myself don't know any of their works, but I promise I'm going to go back after this podcast and look at each one of their works and familiarize myself with all of them.
So my talk is there on YouTube.
And
No,
I
you
will
can just
link
go
the
and
talk on YouTube. In fact, that's the shortcut. Don't have to do anything. Click on the link just below and click on the link. Nayana, it's a 45-minute talk.
It's 1.5 hours talk.
1.5 or 2x pe laga lo. Doesn't matter. But listen to the, and I'm guessing there are images of what they've done. And
Lots.
everything.
There are 114 slides. My longest talk ever. I mean, considering the number of slides, 114.
If there's one thing we would like to talk about at the end of our podcast, if you've not had the patience to watch that entire show, I think this could be a good takeaway, right? If we are going to remember these 9 people and their works and talk about them to other people, and I think Nayana is right. If this was in any other country and Van Gogh was recognized, we would probably be able to name his paintings. If it was Picasso, we would remember his paintings. Monet. There are people who know which one is Monet and which one is Manet, right? We don't know any of these people, right? We did not know Tagore painted, nor did we know that Tagore's nephews painted. So I think this is something we should correct, and I will take the first step. I will do this, and Nayana is obviously going to check on me whenever we meet during our next Khaki Walk. She'll ask me questions. Hopefully I will answer. Mario, are you going to do any of these?
Yeah, I have a question before we end. MF Hussein's not here.
Hussein became popular a little later. So
okay.
this is
Oh, this
1972.
was 90s,
But there
okay.
are so many others
So
who are
many
not
others
there.
were- yeah,
I
this
would
is
say why
70s list.
Raza is not there.
Why Raza is not there?
Why my favorite artist, one of my favorites is V.S. Gaitonde. He's an abstract painter. I mean, he's just amazing.
So-
Why is he not there? But these are later artists.
Yeah, later. So,
So-
one more question, silly question.
Yeah.
Is there any, apart from this, is there any art gallery in India?
There's a
where we
National
can-
Gallery of Modern Art in Delhi.
in
There
Delhi.
are many.
In Mumbai?
So many galleries.
So many, yeah.
In
for,
Mumbai-
for the
Jahangir Art
uninitiated.
Jahangir Art
so
Gallery,
in
CSMBS.
Kalagoda area,
No, Kalagoda
there's
is
so
is
many
okay,
art
fine.
galleries. So yeah, Jahangir Art Gallery is there. CSMBS has a contemporary art gallery. Even Bhavdaji Lad, very often they have exhibitions based on contemporary
First floor
art.
of CSMBS, fully art. There's oil paint. There's an entire row of just oil paintings, which is beautiful. But in that first floor, you'll see everything. Almost every art.
Yeah,
of India is
even no, Jahangir Nicholson is a contemporary art section of the C. Jahangir Nicholson Art Foundation, JNF.
Okay.
That's especially for contemporary art. It's
Okay.
a private collection.
Okay.
So there are so many. Yeah, in Mumbai, we are lucky. We are in Mumbai. We can easily go and
But
see.
Mumbai still does not have, other than you, anyone who is a good guide for someone to do a PhD. Now I'm guessing you would be a good guide.
So there are some rules. I'm not affiliated to any university. You have to be a full-time professor to become a guide. That's the reason. Technically, I cannot guide anybody for PhD.
You're smiling about it. Are you happy about it?
No, I mean, what to do? I mean,
So this is the homework, guys. First podcast with a homework. Nayana, you were wondering how are you going to speak for 2 hours? How much time has passed? Dot 2 hours?
140.
140. Are you surprised? And do you think we've even scratched the surface?
no. I
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
just
So
touched on the topic.
If you watch our podcast, you know we do this to all our guests. You must come again because clearly there is a lot more and lot more depth we should go into. I would actually love to do a series sometime where we just focus on some topics.
Yeah.
And we do like a 3-part, 4-part series focusing on maybe timelines of Indian art or something like that.
Sure.
And see what happens
Yes.
with this particular show. Today is probably the first time you heard our production crew was also engaged as loudly as they were. I don't think we've ever had them this loud. So, and I've never heard Nikhil talk. If you guys heard a male voice that actually sounded like a male voice in the background, that was Nikhil. And Nikhil, come to the camera and say hi once, let people see your face. Come, I've already said it on camera. This is Nikhil. See his face. You've already seen Pratik. And on that note, thank you so much, Nayana.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Today was
absolutely.
a fantastic day for the show, and look out for this episode. Why should we? Obviously, you're watching the episode. Thank you. See you guys.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.